Chapter 4. The World is Very Dangerous. In the thatched cottage on Tioquin Fong, a clear and powerful voice echoed, Lin Nga, do you know what Qi is? Qi is the movement of heaven and earth, the breath of all living things. All cultivation begins with Qi. 1,000 divine abilities, when pursued to the limit, all return to Qi, inhale, exhale, circulate, and initiate the great cycle of energy. Today I will pass down to you the one Qi righteous heaven technique, the foundational cultivation method of our Du Tianmon. This is the technique to establish your Grand Way foundation. Across the 5 regions, this is also considered a top-tier foundation establishment method. In the future, even if you wish to cultivate other techniques, you can still use this one as your foundation. Lin Ya, Lin Ya, the adorable little girl hurriedly responded. Disciple understands. Under the willow tree by the lake, Lam Lin Nga reluctantly withdrew her gaze from the water, sticking out her tongue guiltily. Tenguyen, the elder Taoist, turned his head toward the middle of the lake and chuckled. Your senior brother is practicing water escape. Don't let him distract you. Focus on listening to my explanation of our sect's fundamental cultivation technique. Lamlin Nga nodded obediently. Yes, master. She concentrated, carefully absorbing every word of her master's teachings, trying to grasp the profound mysteries of cultivation. But it didn't last long before she suddenly cried out in surprise, Master! Senior brother has disappeared! Her round eyes widened as she pointed at the still, rippleless surface of the lake. Teng Yan turned to look, sighed helplessly, and said, That is an escape technique. Come, let's go inside and continue training. Your senior brother is obsessed with escape techniques. This is already the 6th type he has mastered. Lamlin Nunga asked curiously, Master, what is an escape technique? Teng Yuyen stroked his beard and explained with a smile. Escape techniques are a type of spell that allows a practitioner to move quickly through different environments. Water escape, for instance, enables one to travel through water at incredible speeds, much faster than swimming. Look, your senior brother has already reappeared on the lakeshore. The speed of this technique is truly impressive. Lam Lin Nga stood on tiptoe and saw her tall and slender senior brother stepping onto the water from afar. She murmured in admiration, Senior brother is amazing. Teng Yin's face showed a hint of helplessness. When it comes to escape techniques, your senior brother is indeed impressive. If only he put half as much effort into other spells, I would be much more at ease. Lamlin Nanya blinked gently and followed her master into the cottage. Teng Yuyen casually shut the wooden door, then pulled out 2 meditation cushions. With a flick of his horsetail whisk, he lightly tapped the little disciple's head. Pay attention. Yes, Lin Na quickly sat cross-legged, finally stabilizing her mind. Meanwhile, Li Chuangtho walked across the water, his footsteps leaving behind ripples that quickly vanished. In just a few breaths, he reached the center of the lake and muttered, I've mastered water escape, but the speed is still too slow. However, merging with water while casting this technique allows me to counter some magical attacks. Water nurtures all things without contention. It carries 1,000 ships without breaking. This is truly worth further exploration. Standing with his hands behind his back, he pondered for a while before continuing his practice. Before long, he no longer needed to step on the water. Just touching it was enough to activate water escape. But Li Chuangtho was still not satisfied. He kept refining his technique, completely unaware of time passing. It wasn't until the afternoon that Ting Yuan's voice transmission pulled him back. Lin Ya has not yet started fasting cultivation, so she can't survive on pills alone. Go to the cottage and fix the stove. Until she begins fasting, you'll need to cook a meal for her every day. Li Chuangtho clasped his hands and replied, Disciple obeys. The elder Taoist added, I will continue my cultivation. Lin Nga, if you need anything, you can ask your senior brother for help. The little girl quickly responded, Yes, master. She mimicked her senior brother's salute with a slight awkwardness, but just then, her small stomach let out a loud growl, causing her fair face to flush red. Tenguyan laughed heartily before vanishing into a wisp of green smoke. Li Truongtho smiled slightly but shifted his gaze toward the lakeshore. giving his little junior sister a chance to recover from her embarrassment. Lin Ninga hesitated before asking, "Senior brother just now, was that smoke escape?" "Huh? Smoke escape?" Li Truong-tho was momentarily confused, then burst into laughter. That was illusionary form technique, mainly used to evade enemies, protect oneself, or trap opponents. It's one of our master's specialties. Do you want to learn it? If you reach a satisfactory cultivation level, master might teach it to you. Lin Nana immediately asked, "Then what about your water escape? Can I start learning it now?" Li Truong-tho shook his head. "You'll need to wait until you reach the chi refinement, spirit transformation stage before practicing escape techniques. All five-element escape techniques are the same in this regard. Right now, you're just a little fledgling on the path of cultivation. Don't get ahead of yourself." Lin Nga blinked. "Senior brother, what's a fledgling?" Li Truong-tho chuckled. "Basically, a rookie." He squinted his eyes mischievously, then led Lin Nga toward a clearing beside the herb garden. "What do you want to eat? We have plenty of local delicacies on the mountain. If you're not picky, I'll make you a delicious meal." Lin Nga tilted her head curiously. "Local delicacies? Senior brother, are we going to chew on these herbs for lunch?" Li Truong-tho rolled his eyes. "Of course not." With that, he picked up a stone, infused it with qi, and flicked it into the forest like an arrow. Lin Nga clapped excitedly as birds fluttered in alarm. Suddenly, a three-colored wild chicken shot out of the woods, a stone embedded in its chest. It had already breathed its last. Lam Lin Nga's mouth hung open in astonishment as her senior brother removed the stone and casually tossed it aside. Soon after, Li Truong-tho plucked the chicken clean and set it over a fire to roast. He took out a few prize seasoning bottles, skillfully preparing the dish, secretly tempting his little junior sister with the mouth-watering aroma. Lam Lin Nga asked curiously, "Senior brother, what spell did you use on that stone? How did it fly like that?" "Just a basic object manipulation technique, a simple trick. In today's cultivation world, especially across the 5 regions, most battles involve using spiritual energy to control treasures and magical artifacts. Object manipulation is the foundation for mastering magic weapons. You're still new, so you don't understand these techniques yet. I'll explain them to you over time." Lamlin Naha nodded obediently. As she watched the meat roasting, she listened carefully to Li Truong-tho's teachings. However, the more she listened, the stranger she felt. Something about his perspective on cultivation seemed off.